mind, dear friends, your vote is precious. Today, it is unbelievable that there are Republican officials are trying to stop some people from voting. I've seen this before. I lived this before. Too many people struggled, suffered, and died to make it possible for every American to exercise their right to vote.
Many years ago, when I was much younger, I was involved in the early days of the American Civil Rights Movement. During the 60s, it was very hard, very difficult for people to participate in the democratic process. The local registrars, local county officials would use certain devices or means or methods to prevent people from registering to vote, simply because of the color of their skin. They would have these so-called literacy tests where you have to be examined. You would ask questions like, count the number of bubbles in a bar of soap. How many jelly beans in a jar? White Southerners would pass the test, but African Americans could never pass the test. Between Selma and Montgomery, the county was more than 80% African American, but there was not a single registered African American voter in the county. We attempted to march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, and a man identified himself and said, "I'm Major John Cloud of the Alabama State Troopers. This is an unlawful march, would not be allowed to continue." And one of the young leaders said, "Major, give us a moment to kneel and pray." And the major said, "Troopers, advance." They came toward us, beating us with nightsticks. I was hit in the head by a state trooper with a nightstick. I had a concussion at the bridge. I thought I was going to die. I thought I saw death. 17 of us were hurt, hospitalized. Eventually, Martin Luther King Jr. and others came to Selma. We got an order from the federal court that we could march, and we did. And President Lyndon Johnson spoke to a joint session of the Congress, introduced the Voting Rights Act. The Congress debated the act, passed the act, and it was signed into law in the summer of 1965. I believe there is a deliberate, systematic effort to suppress the vote. It takes me back to another period. It really is, it's very sad. The only way to succeed and overcome all of the money and the outright deliberate attempt to suppress the vote is for people to turn out and for others to work, to organize. So you have an obligation. We must knock on the doors, must make the necessary telephone call, we must email, we must walk, we must run, we must do whatever it takes to get people to turn out and vote. This is it. This is it. This is the game. This is the final inning. Who do we want to be in the White House to make the next appointment to the United States Supreme Court? That we have to do everything that we can do to see that President Barack Obama is reelected. Congratulations and thanks for participating in the Move On Voter Rising campaign.